and welcome to Macey's Cooking Corner. My name is Afua Daines and I'm your host for today. We have Rebecca Westercamp from Springville. Is it Springville?
Mapleton.
Mapleton.
Close enough.
And today she's going to cook something wonderful for us, I do believe. But before I say that, she owns a bakery in Springville, and I'd like to share that information with you by asking you, tell us where that is.
Okay. It is over by the Springville Walmart, so just off the exit there. We're in the little strip mall right next door to Czech City.
What's it called?
It's called Honey and Grains Bakery, and we've been there, we've been in business. This is our second location, so we've been in business for 12 and a half years.
Wow, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
And today you're here.
I'm here.
Cooking for us.
Yes.
You baking for us or you actually
cooking?
Well,
I did bring something from the bakery to help with the recipe today. So the first thing that we're gonna make is a pesto, and it's a basil pesto, and it's really awesome. So the first thing that we're gonna do with that is we're gonna put in the food processor, we're gonna put 2 cloves of garlic, because it calls for 1 tablespoon, and about 2 cloves is 1 tablespoon. We can actually just take this out.
Big commercial one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a good one.
It's
I really love it. I got it for Mother's Day last year, and I use it like every day, so it's really good. So we can turn that on and just drop the garlic in there and let that. Okay, so that does the job really well and makes it really fine. And then we're gonna take all of our basil here.
How much?
Which is about 1/3 of a cup packed. And then we're gonna take half of our cilantro, and we're gonna put that in there, which is a
couple of cups.
It's a whole bunch. One bunch.
A bunch.
So if you're buying it at the store, just buy one whole bunch of cilantro and use that.
Which I'm sure you can get at Macey's, right?
Yes, I did. I bought it at Macey's right before the show. So okay, we've got that in, and we'll process that. All right, and that's...
So that was for what, 10, 15 seconds? That wasn't that long, was it?
No, not very long.
So much better.
It works really fast.
Chopping, smelling.
Yes.
Like that. Okay, good.
Yes, if you had to chop it all, it would take a lot longer. So this is a great thing to have.
I wish everyone could see that, see?
Yeah.
And it smells so good.
We can take this off if you want
to.
Yeah, if you want to see it a little.
Wow.
Okay.
It just looks really good. Well chopped, yeah.
A little closer.
And before you continue, now usually pesto, I look at the pesto at different stores. You know, I love pesto. I lived in Europe, France for a while, and it all has cheese in it. But yours...
Right. A great replacement for cheese is nuts.
What kind of nuts?
Well, in this particular recipe, you can use almost any nut to make like a cheesy kind of a substitute. Yeah, a flavor, a cheesy flavor. So in this recipe, we're using pine nuts. So we're gonna use 1/3 cup of these pine nuts. And I'll just have you add those to the food processor.
And nutritionally, that's just as good, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
if not better.
Maybe even better.
That's right.
So we've got those.
So that was 1/4 of a cup.
Oh, was it a quarter?
No, 1/3 of a cup.
Okay, all right. Yes, 1/3 cup of those. And then we want 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So we're going to, I like to do it fresh. You can use the lemon juice from a bottle that you just buy, the real lemon or another brand. And yes,
but
you can get that.
Is best.
Yes, I like to use fresh whenever I possibly can.
Right.
So, and then this is a really handy thing that I use a lot. This is a citrus press. So I use this a lot at home. So we're going to use this, and we will juice our lemon like that. So you just...
It's a lot easier. I have the one that, you know, you squeeze on it, and everything else comes out into it.
Yeah, this is really handy. And I do have one of those electric juicers too, because I do like to make like fresh squeezed
salsa
orange juice.
Oh, orange juice.
But that's a different thing. But yeah, I love
juice?
that.
Do you make lime juice?
I don't make it to just have straight, but I use limes in a lot of things, so I'll juice the limes on that sometimes first, if I have quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Instead of this. But this is great.
I'm trying to make lime juice without using too much sugar.
Yeah.
Right now. Do you have an answer to that?
Well, I haven't tried making lemonade like this, but I would try honey or agave.
Okay.
Those are both really great substitutes for any kind of sugar.
Right.
So I would think that that would work just fine in lemonade.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we need 1 tablespoon. So we probably have more than that, but we will use this. So if you want to just add 1 tablespoon
just one?
of the lemon juice to that.
That smells so good. Basil and garlic.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Just 1?
Yeah, you can add a little more. I'm not like the best at just being exact with my measurements, so I just
you do it the old-fashioned way. I just a little bit more.
Yeah. So okay, we've got that, and then we need salt. So we're gonna do a ½ teaspoon of salt. If you want to add that.
Where is it?
And then afterwards, when I try it, salt is always variable.
Yeah.
So add more if you want it, and don't start out with too much.
And white, I noticed, is that Himalayan?
This is real salt. Yeah.
Real salt. Why that instead of the normal white salt?
This has all sorts of minerals in it, so it's a healthier salt than just the iodized white salt.
Right. I agree. Just want our audience to know.
So I think we're ready to process. Let me make sure. Okay, we got the pine nuts, we got the garlic, got the cilantro, the basil, the lemon juice, and the salt. So yes, we'll process that.
Put this on. So not everyone has a processor like this, obviously.
Yeah.
But can they just use a normal processor?
Yeah, you can use any kind. I mean, you could do it all by hand. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But you could chop everything. You could chop the nuts and everything else. But it's much faster, easier to do it this way if you have that option.
Should I do this?
Go right ahead. Yes.
That looks good.
It smells really fresh in here.
It does.
Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, that smells, I love the smell of cilantro. That's one of my favorite smells. Okay, so now we're gonna add the tomatoes, and it calls for a cup of tomatoes, so I usually just kind of estimate that a cup of tomatoes is about 2 tomatoes. I like to use the Roma tomatoes because they are less juicy, and I don't want my pesto to be too runny. So I personally always use Romas, and I do recommend that. So we're gonna just...
Have you tried it with other tomatoes, like the vine?
I
have to admit, I love the vine, the tomatoes
I
on the
love
vine.
them. I love them, and we grow them in our garden. We've got garden season coming up here. And we grow the Romas and we grow the juicy ones, but I haven't made this particular recipe with the juicy ones.
Right.
But I love those for many other things. So we'll just make these so that they're, the food processor doesn't like chunks that are too big. So we're gonna cut these up into about 1-inch chunks, and then they'll easily be able to process. And with the tomatoes, the reason I didn't put those in with the rest is because I don't want them to over-process. I want them to be a little bit chunky. I want them to be a little bit larger pieces than the other ingredients that we've used.
Right.
So we're just gonna, if you want to open that up, we can just put all these tomatoes in there. Okay, yeah, that works.
Like that.
That's awesome. Yes. Okay.
Teamwork, right?
Yep.
Marvelous. I like that. And the colors are great right now. And then process this too?
I just like to pulse it. Yeah, go ahead and put the lid on. We're going to process it. And maybe I'll just come over here to
let's change over.
All right, so I'm not gonna just put it on the on option. I'm gonna pulse it so that I don't get it too overly processed like I mentioned. So. Okay, I'm gonna check that just a little bit more. My chunks are still a little bigger than I want them to be. Okay, that looks good to me. And can you get a?
That's right. No, see? So it's not pureed, but it's chopped nicely.
Yeah, it's good. So what we need to do now is do we have a little spatula?
We
yes.
certainly do.
We need to put this in a bowl.
We do somewhere.
And we will set it aside.
How about a spoon? What a spoon do?
Yes.
Can you use a spoon?
Yes, we can do that.
Bowl?
I think, yes, that would be perfect.
There we go.
All right. So we'll just
scoop
all this out.
Fantastic.
It does smell so good.
Oh
I
goodness.
love fresh cooking. I love using fresh herbs, fresh vegetables.
What's your favorite herb? Herb.
Well,
not
probably
herb. Herbie.
Yeah.
Remember Herbie the car? I mean, it's Herbie, not herb. Herb.
Yes, probably the basil. We grow a lot of basil in our garden.
Do you?
And I use a lot of it. So I typically make this recipe mainly in the summer. It's a really good summertime dish.
And you eat it with?
Well, I'm going to be making a little baguette cucumber sandwich with it. But, you know, it's good for some. You can use pesto for a lot of things. You can use pesto in pasta. You can use it like for a sandwich spread. You can use it, I've tried it just over salad. It's really good alternative salad dressing.
Wow.
So there are a lot of things you can do with it. So
what is the secret to growing basil? I have to say, mine die all the time. I can grow parsley like nobody's business, but my basil doesn't like me. I mean, it's like, wow. Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Is it
honestly, I have to tell you, I can't take credit for that. It's my husband.
Oh.
My husband does the gardening, and I do like the canning and the harvesting.
Really?
So yeah, he has a green thumb, so he does that part. We'll have to ask him.
That must be it, you know.
Yeah.
Even my rosemary is looking sad right now.
Yeah. It's crazy, but I didn't know this. My basil is actually coming up from last year, and I didn't know that it did that.
Nice.
It's never done that before, but it's just, it's coming up. So
I have not got the Midas touch, that is for sure.
Okay, we need to, and I actually should have done this first. So just remember that I did this out of order, and when you do it at home, do it the right way. Do your baguette first.
Okay.
So we just want to slice this up.
Now at your bakery,
I'll show
you what kind of foods do you have?
We
all want to know.
We specialize in breads.
Oh,
so we do we have the regular revolving oven where we do pan breads, like the wheat, the white, and we mill our own wheat.
Oh, wow.
And
do you have gluten-free?
We don't have gluten-free. We looked into that. I know that's a huge demand, but you cannot do gluten-free on the same.
Yeah.
So you can't do gluten-free on the same equipment that you do gluten products. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the facility where you're.
Yeah, just because. Yeah.
But
so we would have
your wheat really good? Is it?
Yeah,
you know?
We get it from a local farmer in Delta, and it is non-GMO, but it's not organic wheat. I do try to use organic as much as possible, especially at home.
Right.
And we have a wheat mill. We mill the wheat ourselves. We don't put any chemicals in the bread. We use honey instead of sugar. There's no dough enhancers or preservatives or anything like that.
Natural breads that you make the loaf and then you can have it cut.
Right.
And you can make it for sandwiches.
And we have a lot of different varieties of breads, and we do the pan breads. We do the sweet breads that are like cake loaves. And then we do the artisan bread. This baguette is an artisan bread, a European. So we have a European stone oven where this is just baked straight on the stone. So at a very high temperature, and it's the very high temperature that creates the hard outer crust, but the soft inside.
The no-knead bread, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Where you don't need much, but you have the crust on the outside and it's soft inside. I like that.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one, my kids just love this. And
we will have to stop by. Oh, when are you open and close?
Okay, we're open Monday through Saturday. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay. So we can definitely pass by.
Yeah. And besides all the healthy stuff, like I said, we do have the sweet breads, and those have sugar, not honey. We do have cookies and brownies and pies and cinnamon rolls and things like that. But
open at 7.
Open at 7 a.m.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And
stop off for breakfast instead of the donut. Come and see you, right?
That's right. That's right. We don't have anything fried. There's nothing fried in the bakery. It's all baked.
I like
so
that.
we do try to be a little healthier.
Right.
So, all right. So we'll take these baguettes and we'll line them on a cookie sheet. Just put them as close together and get as many on there as you possibly can. And we're gonna toast them. We've got our oven. I'm sure it's preheated by now. I personally haven't used a toaster oven. I don't have one of those, so I just use my regular conventional oven, and I set it to broil, and I put it on high. And I'm not sure what temperature that is. I just set this one
on high
to 500 degrees, so I hope
that's high.
We'll have to really watch it because these are very easy to burn, and I have done that.
Right.
So hopefully,
we'll just watch them. Being, you own a bakery. Of buying a baguette and keeping it for at least a couple of days. Is there a secret? Or just eat the whole thing?
We make them fresh every day. If there's a baguette left over,
you have to toss it.
We toss it.
Give it to the birds.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and we donate our extra bread to the Springville Senior Citizens. So they come in and pick up all the older bread.
Older bread, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna put these in the oven, and I hope it's not too high. We're really gonna watch them really close.
Right.
So we don't want to get distracted.
No.
I usually set a timer. I'm not sure where.
Can you not? When you do broil, don't you leave the door open?
I haven't. I've always closed it.
Really?
I don't know. That might be a good idea. So maybe we should do that so we can watch them and make sure we don't burn them.
Exactly. It's that fire alarm.
Yeah, and I did bring one spare baguette just in case, but hoping not to use that.
Yeah,
so we'll just.
The oven I have at home, you put it on broil, but you can leave it open because you're not using the oven, and so then you remember. I remember mostly anyway, but yeah, stand close by, right?
Yes.
I've had many disasters occur,
Yeah, that's easy to have happen. So.
Yeah. Well, that is wonderful about your bakery. And you've been in business 12 years. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
really amazing.
It's good.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
Impressed that you came. Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's fun. I like sharing recipes. I try to, In fact, well, we haven't gotten to the other recipe, but the other recipe that I am going to share a little bit later, everybody that I've ever made that for has always asked me for the recipe. Oh, do we have pot holders?
Pot holders.
To pull this out of the oven, or should I just use this?
Yeah, use that one. That's really good.
Okay, we're ready to take these out, but we're going to do the other side. So we're going to flip them over. Okay. So we're going to flip these over. And then we're going to toast the other side. And the second side, you'll want to watch even closer. It toasts a lot faster than the first side.
Right.
So just really keep your eye on it. And for me, I'm so forgetful that I can forget within 1 minute to check them. So I always set my timer for 1 minute because I'm too easily distracted.
Right.
So
because 30 seconds can go fast or it can go really slow, depending on what you're doing. Don't you think?
It definitely.
Yes.
So, all right. So we will put these back in and watch them super close.
Working at the school, the last 10 minutes of school seems to be eternity, you know? But if I'm doing something I really want, you know? It's just like,
Yeah, if you love it, the time just flies, huh? Yeah.
Or even with the kids, you're having fun with them, and all of a sudden it's like, we gotta go, and they're like, oh, you know? And you're also sad, and yeah.
That's good though. If the kids are sad to go, then you know
I
you're doing a good job,
that,
right?
The parents come, do we have to go? And you're like, yes.
I'm ready, even if they're not. Okay, they're still not quite done. I'm trying to watch them. But yeah, they're taking a little time, and I just want to keep a good eye on them. So,
like I said, 30 seconds. Woo! Beep, beep.
Yeah, I think, and I just like to lightly brown them, but you can toast them to whatever darkness that you prefer.
Right.
So, all right.
Just right, you like to do it.
I think I am ready to take them out.
Okay.
So we are just going to set those aside. Like I said, I should have done that first. We're going to let those cool for a few minutes.
Okay.
So what we want to do while those are cooling, what we should have done while those were cooling is make the pesto. But what we're going to do is just get our cucumber sliced. Okay, and I did just already peel it. And if you like the peeling, some people like to leave the peeling on their cucumber. You can do that too. So anyway, we just no, but I typically make this recipe during garden season because we do a lot of cucumbers in our garden. So it's awesome with fresh garden cucumbers, but it's good like this too. So I just probably, what would you say, 1/4 of an inch. But you know, if you like them thicker, you can do that too. So
let's have you not talk while you're doing that.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we've got our sliced cucumbers, and I like it just with the cucumber, but my husband really loves it if you add cherry tomatoes.
So like cherry on top?
Yeah, so I just take the little cherry tomatoes and cut them in half. So we'll just do a few of those.
This as like a crudité, hors d'oeuvre, they say in French.
Yes.
You know,
it's a really, it's a great hors d'oeuvre. Hors d'oeuvre, if I can say it.
Hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. And so,
absolutely.
Yes.
There we go.
So we've got the cherry tomatoes, just cut those right in half. I prefer just the cucumber. I love tomatoes, but for some reason with this, I prefer
with
just
it or without?
I prefer it without the tomato, but my husband really likes it better with the tomato, so I'll do a little of both to please everybody.
I think it looks beautiful with the colors,
Yeah.
you know, the green.
Yeah, and I love that. Like whenever I'm cooking anything, I always try to look at colors and, you know, how they play together, and you know, because food should be beautiful too. You know, taste good but be beautiful. And when you're using fresh vegetables, fresh herbs, you know, your food will be beautiful because there's so much beauty in those.
Makes you smile, makes you feel good, and at the end you're like, oh, then you taste it, then you really smile.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so
that's
we should
about
have
a handful of.
Yeah, and you can use more. I'm not sure. That probably, well, that might cover all of them. So anyway, so I'm not sure if these are. They're not 100% cool, but we'll go ahead anyway. So let me get what I use here. Okay, I personally use Vegenaise, which, do you use this too? Okay, I use this at home in place of mayonnaise, but you can use mayonnaise or Miracle Whip or whatever you prefer. It'll be just as good.
You gotta explain why you like this.
Yeah, well, this is made from grapeseed oil, and it's if you have high cholesterol, this is a much better choice because in this there's 0 grams of cholesterol. And in, I know in Miracle Whip, I'm not sure what is in mayonnaise, but there's 5 grams of cholesterol in Miracle Whip.
Oh, there you go.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Just like this, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, they both have 1 gram of saturated fat, but that's not a bad thing. That's pretty low.
And you really
So,
can't tell. I really like this.
Yeah, and the sodium is about a third less as well.
Right.
So it's a good, healthy option. So we will grab a knife, and maybe I'll have you help me. Maybe we can grab a couple knives, and we're just gonna put those, or we're gonna.
You know what? Let me get a plate as well.
Just gonna put some of that on each one.
How are you?
So we'll do that.
Plate right here.
Just a little bit on each one. Gives it some really good extra flavor. So, oh yeah, that's true. We don't need to. And if you want, you can
put some of this.
help me with that. So yeah, and then after we put the Daines or mayonnaise on there, then we're gonna put a little bit of. I put maybe that much or a little. Yeah, I like as much as possible. It gives it such good flavor. So.
So I noticed that the bread is a little bit still warm, isn't it? But you usually cool it right down.
Yeah, I usually cool it because I don't really want the Daines or mayonnaise to melt.
Melt, right? That's true.
So, but it's fine.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
See, I would do these. Maybe cut it in half if you're doing an hors d'oeuvre, so that you could just pop it in your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't need this necessarily to be an appetizer. I'll make this for dinner during the summer when I don't feel like a heavy meal anyway. I feel like something light.
Yeah, the great idea.
So we can just.
Gonna go make this.
We actually don't have to do all these. We could just do a little plate full if you want. And
yeah, that's right. Let's do that. Then I get to taste, right?
That's right. Everybody can taste it.
People got to know how desirable this is. Delicious it is.
It's really addictive. Like, I can't just eat one.
Right.
So it really is.
We don't need Pringles. We can eat this.
Right. Right. That's the old commercial, right? No one can eat just one.
Right.
That definitely goes for this too.
You can eat healthy and keep going.
Yeah, you can eat healthy and have lots of flavor and be very satisfied, and it's really not too crazy on your budget, really, I don't think.
No.
Because processed foods
in the long run
are expensive anyway, packaged foods, so.
That is so true. Okay, so.
All right. So we'll
and then what do you do after you do this?
So then we'll put a cucumber on each one. And after the cucumber, we will put a little tomato. So,
it's beautiful.
And I've taken these.
This?
My children love it.
Oh.
I've taken this to many parties, family gatherings. They get cleaned out so fast.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. They love it. They love it.
The family reunions coming up, so I think I might have to try this out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll put the little, and then I just put the little tomato.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
On top.
Wow. This is lovely.
Yeah.
You know, it's making my heart sing. Really, it is. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's good
There's
stuff.
nothing like eating something that is fresh. Do you know, now I really can tell the difference when something is processed or overcooked or whatever, and then to eating something that is literally from the garden, you just feel that.
It's true.
Oh.
And when you haven't eaten the overly processed, full of extra flavor enhancers and things like that, when you haven't eaten like that for a while, then you really can appreciate the natural flavors of things. I mean, even just eating a unsalted almond that's raw just tastes really good.
Absolutely. hungry, but you need to get to that place.
Yeah.
And this Besto pesto. What do you call it? It's called Besto pesto.
Besto pesto, yes.
It rhymes.
Yes. Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Oh, you could tell I'm at school, right?
So.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, so this is our finished product.
Oh, look
and
at that. Okay, and you've got to put this. And I'm going to bite into this, and then afterwards I want you to stay close to this show so that for more of the recipes, but let me just.
It's kind of messy. Can be messy.
No, it's really good. We will see you soon. Back to Macey's Kitchen Corner. Here we have Rebecca Westercamp. Hello. And we are now going to make, what's the next thing you're going to make?
Okay, we are going to make some fresh guacamole. And I got this recipe from a guy that used to work for me at my bakery probably about 10 years ago. He's from Mexico, so this is an authentic Mexican guacamole.
Oh, love that.
So yes, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our garlic. We're going to use 5 cloves of garlic.
Whoa.
We're going to put that. You can actually just leave the lid on.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just take that off. Go ahead and turn it on. We'll dump those in there. All right. And just let them get as fine as we can. Okay. All right, so we wanted those to be as fine as we could. We processed those until they were about as fine as you can get them in here. And now we're going to put 1 bunch of cilantro in with it.
Are there different kinds of cilantro? You know, like parsley, you have the leaves, the different...
There may be. I'm not sure,
okay.
Honestly. I wouldn't be surprised.
Anyway.
Yeah. And that is one thing I've not had success in growing in my garden.
Cilantro.
Yeah, I've had a hard time with that one.
I haven't even gone there. Parsley's my thing. I can grow parsley till the cows come home.
Parsley's an easy one.
Yeah. Any condition.
All right.
Is that good?
Yep, I think that's good. All right, now we're going to use 1 jalapeno.
Now hot?
And
jalapeno hot?
Yeah, it is. This is not going to be a hot guacamole. We're going to be putting other ingredients in that will balance out the hotness of this. And actually, the jalapeno, the heat is in the seeds. So I personally don't like the heat. My husband loves the heat. Right. But I take the seeds out. So just cut it down the middle like that. And then if you want to leave the seeds in, you're more than welcome. If you want it hot, leave the seeds in, or some of them even.
Right.
You may not want all of them. Yeah. But I just kind of take that whole middle part out and all the seeds.
Joking.
Okay. And it is good that I'm wearing gloves for this because the heat from this will stay on your hands. So don't touch your eyes after you've cut this or any sensitive areas. So, all right. So anyway, we're just going to cut this in like 3 pieces just for the food processor, those 1-inch pieces. And then we'll go ahead and we don't have to take the lid off. We can just start it and we'll dump these in.
Seconds.
That's probably good. All right, so we've got that. And now I like to use purple onion. I like it, I guess it has a little bit different flavor. I use it mainly for the color. You can use any kind of onion if you don't have a purple onion.
Don't they say this is sweeter though?
I think so. Yeah, I think the purple one is
milder or?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really sure. It might be.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I'm just going to do those about 1-inch slices for the processor. And then we'll go ahead and add this. We can go ahead and take the lid off and put those in there. And now the onion I don't want to process quite as fine as the other ingredients, so I'm going to go ahead and just pulse these. I'll check it. Okay, yeah.
So not as fine.
Right, I want to have, I accidentally did that once.
Right.
And you couldn't even see the pieces of onion. It was still good flavor, but yeah,
It disappeared.
Right, it's gone, where'd it go? So we will now take that. We need to, I guess we could use, do we have a larger bowl? Or we could use this bowl. Anyway, we need to.
Should we get another bowl?
Actually, I think if you have a bigger bowl than this, that would actually be better.
Do.
And then we'll take that blade out for just a second. And we will scoop this. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly the bowl I use at home every time I make this. So I usually use about a medium-sized bowl.
Okay.
Spoons, where were those? Okay. I actually. All right. So we will scoop that into here.
Smells good again.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yes, one of my favorite smells.
And this is something I think I know my kids love guacamole. So I usually would make a bowl, you know. I don't say anything, and I have the chips there. And they'll smell things, and they see them, you know, they come and dip a little bit, and before I know it, it's all gone. I like that.
Yes.
It's fresh, and it's all gone. It's great.
It is. It's really good. And I love it with chips, but I also love it on salad because I don't like to use salad dressing very much. So if I'm on some salads, I just like to put guacamole and salsa, and that's my dressing. So
perfect.
It's good that way too. Okay, so now we need to get, this is probably the longest part. This will take the most time. We need to prepare our avocados. So we'll cut those in half.
Do you have a magic way of doing that?
I don't. Do you? I would love it if you have one. Please share.
You never know.
So we will do that, and I can have Afua start to take these. So we'll take.
Or taking out the pip.
Yeah, we'll take the pips out.
A method of doing that?
I don't. I mean, they pop out pretty easily. It just kind of put your thumb.
I think I've seen someone just use a knife and just hit it.
Okay. Oh, well.
Pops out. But
Okay,
I'm not going to try it today. No.
If that works, then great.
I haven't got the insurance in case it goes flying out somewhere.
So, yeah, we'll do that. And
I could cut them up and then you pop them
awesome.
out.
Okay.
See?
So yeah, we'll use 6 avocados. I always use 6 large avocados.
And how do you know whether an avocado is ripe or not?
That's a good question. You don't want them to be hard.
Okay.
If they're hard, they're not ripe.
Right.
And sometimes you go to the store and that's all there is.
That's right.
So you can buy them hard if you're not going to be using them that day. If they are like that and you want them to ripen up, leave them on the counter.
Okay.
And then they'll ripen up faster.
Right.
So, but if you need them for that day, you'll just want them to have. You won't want them to be mushy to the touch, but you'll want them to just give a little. So feel just a little bit of softness. You don't want them 100% firm. So, and these are just right. So, we got some good ones today.
Yeah.
And we've got all sorts of different sizes on these pits. Wow.
Look at
this.
That one compared to.
Yeah. So, and we will throw all the pits away except for one. We're going to save one pit. And the reason that we save one pit is because when our guacamole is done, we're going to throw the pit in there. And you know how avocados brown quickly?
Absolutely, yes.
You throw the pit in there, it'll still be green tomorrow and the next day. It will not start to color until maybe 3 days out. And you will want to eat it within 3 or 4 days because it starts to not taste as fresh, but it keeps that green color because...
Without adding anything else to it?
Well, yeah. Just the ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah, the pit just does...
That's a good thing.
Yeah, there's our magic.
Yeah, that's right. Because it does brown. And my kids, they see a little bit of brown. Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Stand there in a corner,
brown's
mixing
not,
it up.
Right, it's not the most appetizing color, so... All right, so we now, like I said, this is the messy job.
Oh,
so
this is glove time,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you want some gloves? Anyway, this will take...
Yeah, go on.
This will take the longest, but honestly, if they're nice ripe ones like this just came out of the shell so nicely.
Wow,
sometimes if they're a little overripe, then they half of it'll stick to the shell, but these are really good ones. And if they're underripe, then they don't want to come out at all.
And don't you hate that when you cut one that's underripe and your knife gets stuck in there? And
and it doesn't. I can tell the difference when they're not as ripe. Like sometimes I've used the ones that are a little underripe, and the guacamole doesn't taste quite as good. But
and my kids will say, "This is hard."
Good batch today, so. And don't be afraid of a little bit of brown. If there are some brown spots, I might cut them off. Yeah, these are just coming right out.
Easy. And I haven't done it like that. I've always I usually cut it up first, and then take it out. Yeah.
Wow. Is this a little easier?
It is. This is fantastic. Wow, look at that. Little things in life makes me happy. Look at that. Just look at that. See? This is wonderful.
Yeah.
See, food should be fun, shouldn't it?
And it's beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful these avocados are.
In different countries, women get together and they cook and they laugh. Isn't this nice? This is what we do here at Macey's Cooking Corner, don't we?
So we can get rid of those.
Good.
And this.
And
these
seeds.
As
well. Anybody? Oh, no.
And here's some pits.
Okay.
So we'll just keep one of them. Got all that?
There you go. Yes.
Okay. All right. And so now I'm just going to cut these up in 1-inch size so that they're for the food processor.
Oh, goodness. So let's just put that.
And so I usually process half of them at a time. We probably could do them all at once, I bet. Actually, let's try that today. I think it would be fine.
Look at that. I've got a long knife. I can do this from a distance.
Yeah.
So you don't want it too chopped, do we? Well, we don't need to.
And if you don't have a food processor, because I've made this for many years before I even had a food processor, you can just use a potato masher and mash it up.
Okay. Yes.
So. And I was going to show you guys too on the garlic. I mean, I did it in my food processor, but if you don't, and this is a really handy thing to have. I use so much garlic. This is a garlic press. You can just put a clove or two in there and just put that in and press it. So that's a really nice tool to have.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
Do you grow your own garlic?
I don't. That's one thing we haven't grown.
Yes, I know a lady down in St. George. She grows bunches of garlic.
Oh, yeah?
Doesn't use them all, but she just loves it. So I presume it's quite easy to grow. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
so we have
like onions.
Yeah, we do have a neighbor that
grows
it, and he'll give us he'll just put a bunch of them together, and it's kind of a decorative thing.
That's right, yeah. So just have it hanging.
Yeah.
Have it on your door so the vampires don't come. See vampires?
Right, yeah.
So,
Right. So, okay, well, let's try this. Let's go ahead and put all this in the food processor. I think we'll be all right to do that. I guess we could even just burn this over here for a minute, make it easier on ourselves. Yeah, let's just do it all at once.
Love guacamole. Guacamole party.
Yeah, and I have taken this recipe to many parties.
And it's been a hit.
I've served it. I don't know if I mentioned that, but everybody that I've ever made this for has always asked me for the recipe. So
I'm
is
going to be doing that.
A good one.
Love guacamole.
All right.
My youngest, loves guacamole. we'll just eat it, you know. That will be dinner. It's great as well. It's got everything you need, fat, nutrients. Great.
All right, here we go. It's not going quite as fast with the whole thing, but it's getting it.
It's getting there.
I might have to scrape it down.
Do you want to scrape?
I might have to. What? Okay, it's still got some chunks. I usually will process this twice. I'll usually take and scrape the sides and try to get those chunks down in there so we can get the rest of it. So I'll usually do this 2 times.
Oh, wow.
So we'll do it one more time. And it doesn't have to be completely smooth. If you do it by hand with a potato masher, you're going to have little chunks in there, which is fine too. So, all right.
It looks good though.
Here we go. Yeah. Okay,
Lovely.
I think we're ready. So we will
Oh wow, look at the green.
take out our blade,
Do you want
and
another
I will
spoon?
I'll just use this same one. Try to get, I'm a conservative person, I don't like to waste, so I try to get as much as I can off there, but we won't be too terribly picky about it. All right, and now we want to scoop all that into there.
You know, we're going to, I'm going to Africa in June, and I'm just going to miss the avocado season. I said to Mom, can't use so many? She's like, I'm sorry, you know, and the mangoes, you know, but avocados is like apples out there, just where you can just pick them and eat them. And
in Africa?
yes, in Ghana. I'm going to Ghana, so that's awesome. My dad has a avocado tree and banana tree. Oh,
wow.
beautiful. Can you imagine?
That would be awesome. Just walk in your backyard and
breakfast, children, go climb a tree. Oh, I just can't wait.
that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Is your family there?
My parents are there. And
Okay.
my aunties and my uncles. Yeah, quite a lot of people. Yeah. I haven't seen for years since coming here, you know? So it's going to be a trip.
Good.
I'll have all these recipes to share with you all. I'm excited. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Put this one back here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Trade you spots.
Oh, that looks good.
Okay. So now we want to add, we don't use mayo in this. I think a lot of people use mayonnaise in their guacamole. I don't.
No.
I use olive oil.
Okay.
And we just use 1 tablespoon.
So why do you use olive oil? I've never tried it with olive oil.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah.
I love the flavor of it and the health benefits. The olive oil is one of the healthiest oils that there is. So this is a tablespoon, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So, and it can be a little overflowing, which is fine. So we'll do that. 1 tablespoon. And then we want, my recipe says 1 teaspoon of salt, but I always end up adding an extra teaspoon. So I'll just go ahead and put 2 in, because the 2 things that are variable in this recipe are salt and limes.
Right.
So I always use 2 limes, but sometimes I end up adding another one. So we'll just see. It just depends on how juicy your limes are. So okay, 1. And then we'll go 2 teaspoons. All right. And then we've got our limes. So we'll use our lime press, or citrus
Which
press,
is,
which is somewhere. Okay. Awesome. So we will
Pretending they were the maracas. But really,
and if you don't have this, you can just squeeze them in. This is nicer to have. See, it just squeezes the juice right out.
Oh, it's fantastic. Without any pips.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it.
Without any of those seeds or anything. So,
Yeah.
so we will
like
just
that.
put it in like that and squeeze.
Look at those muscles. Wow, look at that, everyone. See, look at that. It's a woman that works out
Yep.
in the kitchen.
There too, yes.
Right.
Gotta have some muscles for this stuff.
Right.
All right.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, we gotta do our tomatoes too.
Oh, we cutting these up too?
Yes,
Oh.
we're gonna dice
Process
probably
it?
2 of those. We'll just dice. And
In
that.
the processor?
No, I don't like to do it in the processor. You can. I have tried it that way, but it just looks better and does better. It gets a little bit too juicy in the processor, so I like to do those by hand.
Nice.
All right.
I like that. So, is there a particular way that you dice? You might do it differently.
There's no right or wrong way, but I just cut it like this.
Oh, you slice first.
I slice first. I don't know if that's the fastest way.
If that's the
but
chef
just
way.
kind of do it like that. I like them fairly small, but you can do any size you want. If you like them chunky, you can have a bigger one. If you don't like chunky tomatoes, you can just dice them as small as you want. So. Yeah. And I do like to use the Roma tomatoes in this recipe as well, just for the fact that I don't want it to be too juicy. But you can, and I have used the other ones, and the other ones are good too, the regular tomatoes, especially during garden season when you have those yummy, flavorful tomatoes that don't taste anything like store-bought tomatoes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's so true. So I'm going to come over to your garden, definitely.
I'll give you a tour.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody has a huge garden here, and it's wonderful. I like that. We used to one time.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but my husband loves it. It's his hobby, so
Marvelous.
he does that for relaxation, believe it or not.
Oh. He can come over anytime.
Yeah, I've had several neighbors offer that.
Let's barter, okay?
Yeah. So we're just gonna mix this all together. We've got the cilantro and onion mixture, the limes, jalapeno, garlic.
Put this on your baguette.
Yeah, absolutely. You could
Why
definitely,
not?
in fact, we've done that. We've dipped baguettes in it. It's
Right.
really good. Baguette is like my favorite dipping food of all.
Right.
Like I'd rather dip a baguette in anything than
Oh my goodness.
a chip. So,
Yeah. I love that as well.
so we do have some left over, and we'll
Good. I'm gonna
use
try
those.
it. I get to eat it, so.
All right, so we need to try this and see
Yes.
if we have
Enough.
enough lime,
Yes.
enough salt.
You must try it. Here's a
All
spoon,
right,
actually.
so we've got,
There you go.
we'll just, here, I've got a bag of chips.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Can I try this with
Somewhere.
some chips? Which
Where
is,
they?
oh,
Oh,
it's
by the
just
microwave?
over here.
Oh my God, no, I
Where are the chips?
just
There
bought
they
these
are.
at Macey's.
Get this at Macy's. Bargain.
Now,
Is there a reason,
I
do you
really-
like yellow or white? Is there a reason?
I,
Oh, you
yeah, I know, I'm making a big, big mess.
Let's
I
take
guess
this.
it's time to take those off, huh?
Yes.
I'll
what,
let you do
what
that part.
different, what do you like?
Well,
now that
I don't
we've
know
just,
if I like the white better. It's a little bit different flavor. I like the white. It's just a
do?
personal preference.
Oh.
It's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Should we try? Would you
So,
like one?
yeah. Thank you.
Let us try this. Delicious. Very delicious.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Now, why would you buy? Right?
Good stuff.
That is perfect. Just right.
Yeah.
Right amount of lime. The right. Did I just double dip there? Anyway, it's the right amount of lime, the onions, the salt, everything.
Yeah. The garlic.
The
you can
garlic,
taste
yes. And even there's not a spice, but there's a slight kick. Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just slightly.
Just right.
And sometimes I'll put a little bit of the seeds in just for my husband's sake. So yeah. Oh, and we don't want to forget the pit that we've set aside. We want to put that in now. When it's complete, we just throw that in there and
just like that.
Dip around it. So
wonderful. Not double dip, but dip around it.
Dip around
That's delicious. Thank you so much, Rebecca. This has been a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Here at Macey's Kitchen Corner. For these recipes are going to be available, right?
Yes.
And we're here every Thursday at Macey's in Spanish Fork. Thank you.